Have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions in life, working a job that pays the bills but does not light you up internally? And maybe you've actually caught yourself thinking, is this really all life has for me? If you're nodding your head right now, then you are not alone and you've also come to the right place. Because the question of purpose and what we're meant to do here on this time on the planet is one of the most fundamental questions we can face as humans. And in today's video, I want to highlight the three books that could help you find your purpose. They're right here. I'll reveal the covers in just a moment, but these books have the power to find your purpose and also potentially change your life for good. And you want to stay till the end to the third book because it outlines a surprising Japanese concept that ties everything together and is absolutely crucial for making this whole purpose finding process actually work in real life. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Owen, and the purpose of this channel is to share what has helped me, what hasn't, and all the lessons along the way of this journey from when I took the leap from a great job in college basketball to creating a multi-six-figure online business, achieving location freedom, and loving life every single day. I want the same for you, so this is my purpose behind making this channel, and I hope it helps you. So the topic of the day is finding your purpose with these books, and it's not just some fluffy self-help concept. Research shows that people who feel a sense of purpose live longer, experience less stress, and report higher life satisfaction. Now, here's the thing. Purpose isn't just something you will just stumble upon. It's something you discover through reflection, experimentation, and yes, learning from others who have thought deeply about this question. And trust me, I've spent so much time thinking about this for myself. And these books and also some other questions I'm going to outline in this video are going to help you. So these three books are going to be tremendous on finding what you're meant to do. And the first one is this book by Robert Stephen Kaplan, What You're Really Meant to Do. I'm an avid reader. Trust me, I've read over 300, 400 books. This book is not talked about enough. And I don't know why, but I'm so glad that I'm sharing it with you guys today because it's going to help you. Robert Stephen Kaplan was a vice chairman at Goldman Sachs and became a professor at Harvard Business School. And he offers a pragmatic, business-minded approach to purpose. The core idea of this book is that purpose comes from the intersection of three elements. It comes from your strengths, your passions, and your values. Now, your strengths are what you're naturally really good at, and your passions are what energizes and excites you. And lastly, your values are what matters most to you. What makes Kaplan's approach unique is how actionable it is. He doesn't just tell you to follow your bliss, and as many people often do. He provides frameworks for ruthlessly honest self-assessment and asks really good questions in here for you to then go journal about and think about on your own. So one good exercise I particularly found to be extremely powerful is what he calls the story of your life. You write down key turning points in your life and look at the patterns. What are the situations that brought out the best? When were you most engaged? And what environments drained you the most? And one of my favorite quotes from the book is, if you don't actively seek to understand your strengths, passions, and values, you may well find yourself on a path that does not suit you. And maybe you've heard this before, that a lot of people rise the corporate ladder. They spend 20, 30 years rising this ladder, rising up this mountain, just to get to the peak, have the title, have the corner office, all to find out they climbed the wrong mountain. I don't want that for you, and I definitely didn't want it for myself. So that's what forced me to do this type of reading and this work, especially with Robert Kaplan's book. Kaplan also goes on to emphasize that purpose isn't static. It evolves as you grow and gain new experiences. And if you're feeling lost right now at this very moment, you might just be at a signal that you're ready for the next evolution of your purpose. So that's book number one, What You're Really Meant to Do. Okay. Now on to book number two. This second book takes a completely different approach, which I love, but it's going to open your eyes to a very core piece of finding your purpose. This book is called The Black Sheep by Brent Manzwar. He argues that finding your purpose starts with identifying your non-negotiable core values. And this is what he calls your black sheep values. So first and foremost, why the black sheep? Because these are the values that stand out from the flock. Obviously, imagine like a pasture of sheep. They're all white except for one is black. And that's the black sheep. That's the one that stands out. And maybe you've heard the phrase, you're the black sheep of your family. And these values are uniquely yours and they define who you are at your core. And what I love about Brandt's approach here is that it's not just about finding some grand external purpose, but rather understanding what matters most to you and then aligning your life accordingly. So the book guides you through finding your 5 black sheep values. And these values can serve as great decision-making markers for you. So they can be filters that you run through if they align with what you want to do next in your life. This could lead you to leaving a job, ending a relationship, making some other major life change. They're really helpful when you're at a crossroad to run through these core values and decide what path I want to take. So for context, I'd love to share the 5 black sheep values that I came about on my own. The first one is perseverance, which to me is sticking with things even when they get tough. The second was education, constantly learning and growing. The third is adventure, seeking new experiences outside of my comfort zone. The fourth is connection, building meaningful relationships with others. And the fifth is change, being willing to evolve and transform. Now, what's interesting about this work, because he gives you a whole list of these, and I'll flash it on the screen as well, the visual that he gives in the book of all these core values that you could pick from, you come to realize that a lot of them are aligned with one another. So you might be picking 2 that are actually the same word or mean the same thing. So you want to build out this list and then you want to refine it so you could find those 5 core black sheep values to dial in on. And then you could have other values that are kind of within those. But these values have become my compass for making decisions. They've helped me recognize when opportunities align with my authentic self and what opportunities I should take on and what I shouldn't. And then once you define your values, Menswar suggests creating a purpose statement that weave them all together in one sentence. So again, for context, mine is, I am persevering through constant mental, physical, and spiritual change while consistently educating myself and connecting with others through a life of full adventure. This statement guides everything I do. And Menswar also shares his personal story of how he discovered his own black sheep values while sitting at his son's hospital bedside. And by the way, his son Theo, who's passed away, designed this amazing logo. He was sitting by his bedside, uncertain if his child would survive a rare blood disease. This crisis forced him to clarify what truly mattered. And one insight that really stuck with him was that purpose isn't something you find once and for all. It's something you live every day through the expression of your core values. So when your actions align with your black sheep values, you experience a sense of purpose naturally. And now last but not least is this third book, which is highlighting the Japanese secret to a long and happy life. And that is a book called Ikigai, which roughly translates to a reason for being. So unlike Western approaches that we're used to if you're US based, that often frame purpose as something grand or world changing, Ikigai embraces the beauty of finding purpose in smaller everyday moments. And what makes this concept so powerful is the Ikigai diagram, a Venn diagram with 4 overlapping circles between what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. So where all these 4 circles overlap, that's your Ikigai. The book shares stories of the people from Okinawa, Japan, the home to some of the longest living people on Earth. Side note, there's a great Netflix documentary called Blue Zones that talks about this in particular, that is filled with people that have lived beyond the age of 100. And it's outlined in this book too, because their Ikigai isn't grand or flashy. It might be tending a garden, preparing food for family, or continuing a traditional craft. And what I found to be the most refreshing part about this approach is how it removes the pressure to find some world-changing purpose. And that can actually stunt your growth to finding truly what your purpose is. So your Ikigai could be as simple as creating a peaceful home for your family or bringing joy through your cooking. The book also emphasizes community and connection as essential elements of purpose, something our individualistic Western culture sometimes, or most of the times, overlooks. So that's book number 3 is Ikigai. Now, allow me to bring this all home and outline how do you use these 3 books and how do you use them in tandem. So first and foremost, Kaplan offers the framework for self-assessment and understanding our strengths, our passions, and our values to serve as the foundation. Menswar, secondly, helps us identify our non-negotiable core values, the black sheep values that define who we are and guide our decisions. And lastly, Ikigai reminds us that purpose doesn't have to be grandiose. It can be found in the intersection of what we love, what we're good at, what the world needs, and what can sustain us financially. So what's fascinating is that despite these different approaches, all three of these books emphasize that the purpose isn't something external. It's not something you discover once and that's all you need. It's something you cultivate through alignment between your inner core and your outer actions. So let me share quickly how these books changed my own thinking about purpose. Before reading them, I thought purpose was something I had to figure out intellectually, like solving a puzzle to find the right answer, and there was only one core answer. I was constantly asking myself, what should I do with my life? Am I in the right place? And getting anxious when the answer wasn't clear. And trust me, for years, decades, it was not. But these books helped me realize that purpose emerges from action aligned with your core values. Instead of trying to figure it all out in my head, I started experimenting and putting my thoughts into action with different activities while staying true to my black sheep core values. I also let go of the pressure that my purpose had to be unique and world-changing, and the Ikigai concept taught me that purpose can be found in simple daily actions that bring joy and service to others. So which one of these books should you read first? It might be a question you're asking yourself. If you're practically minded and love frameworks, I would start with What You're Really Meant to Do by Robert Kaplan. If you're at a crossroads and you're feeling disconnected from your values and you're unable to kind of make good decisions, then you probably want to start Brant Mensware's book, Black Sheep, and it offers a powerful process for clarification. And if you're feeling overwhelmed by the whole concept of purpose and you don't even know where to start, you just kind of want to see the overarching and gentle approach, then Ikigai is a great place for you to start. But here's the most important thing I want you to do right now. I want you to click the next video right here, where I walk through what I believe to be the easiest way to pinpoint your purpose in something that I did that could take literal seconds for you to find this purpose that you've been seeking. You can watch the video right here. You can also find it in the description. And if you found this video to be helpful, please hit that button to subscribe and like this video, as this is going to tell me and YouTube to make more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and remember, your purpose isn't something you find once and for all. It's something you live one aligned decision at a time. I'll see you in the next video.